everyone, welcome back to my channel. To start off, we're going to be putting tape on our eyes and we're going to be priming our eyelids. Today I'm using this Wet n Wild primer. It's actually a very good primer and it's cheap at the drugstore. For our transition shade, we're going to be using Taupe from the Lorac Pro palette and we're going to be putting that in our crease. This will help our colors blend that we put down later. Then I'm going to be taking this matte eyeshadow from Kiko. It's in the number 210. It is a burnt reddish brown. I'm going to be putting that in on my outer V and in my crease using a Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm just going to be putting that back and forth, and I'm going to be dipping my brush back into the color and reapplying just until I get it to the intensity that I like. And of course I'm going to go in with my Sigma E40 blending brush just to make sure there are no harsh lines and everything is nicely blended. The next eyeshadow we're going in was the Kiko Eyeshadow number 257. It is a gold champagne color and I'm putting that on the inner portion of my eyelid. Using that same MAC brush, I'm just going to flip it over and dip it into another Kiko eyeshadow. This is in the number 211. It is very similar to the color that we put in our outer V and crease. It just has shimmer in it. I'm going to be putting that on the outer half of my eye. And just to make sure the colors are nice and opaque, I'm going to dip my brush back into the champagne gold color and every other color just to intensify the colors and make them nice and bold. And to intensify and deepen the outer V, I'm going to be taking the color Sable from the Lorac Pro palette on a Sigma E30 pencil brush and placing that in my outer V as so, just so that it makes the look a little bit more dark and defined. And as usual, blend, 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 remove that tape and onto eyeliner. I'm using the L'Oreal Carbon Black Linear Intense Liner. It has a felt tip and it is very difficult to work with. I don't know if it's just me and I'm not very good at using liquid liner, or maybe mine was drying out because I've had it for a little while. But as I said, it's not my favorite, but it does do the job. However, it does not make a very crisp line. So to make sure the line is nice and straight and even, I go in with the NYC Liquid Liner. I know I originally said on my Instagram that the NYC Liquid Liner was a waste of time, but it actually is a pretty decent liner. In terms of staying power, I'm not impressed. It wipes off very easily, and I can't promise that it'll stay all night if you rub your eye or something like that, but it does help give you a nice crisp line and make sure that wing is very pointed. For mascara, I'm using the Jordana Best Lash Mascara and I'm going to be putting one coat on my eyelashes prior to putting on falsies. I have to say, this is a good mascara. It's very good at separating, but it does flake a little bit. And then I'm going to be tight lining my eyes using the Jordana eyeliner, which is a very good liner, and curling my lashes so that they're nice and ready to put falsies. I'm using the Ardel Whispies lashes and I'm going to apply them like so. I do use a Q-tip. I lied, that's not a Q-tip, that's a toothpick. I do use a toothpick sometimes because it has a very nice point and it's easy to get into the inner corner. Sometimes I use tweezers, it depends on how I feel that day, but sometimes I use the toothpick to put the actual glue on the lashes so it only gets a very small amount and not a whole glob, and then you're stuck with a glob on your eye and that's annoying to get off. And to make sure you don't see the band or the glue, I go over it with the NYC Liquid Liner just to hide anything that may be showing. To prime my face, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Revitalift Miracle Blur, and I'm going to be putting that all over my face, and then I like to pat it in just to make sure it goes nicely into the pores. For foundation, I'm using the Covergirl Ready Set Gorgeous Foundation. I do like this foundation. I think it looks very natural, and it's from the drugstore, obviously, so it's inexpensive. And I'm using my Real Techniques buffing brush, and make sure you get your neck and your chin just so it blends nicely with the rest of your body and it doesn't look like you have a two-tone on your face. For concealer, I'm going in with the Maybelline FitMe concealer. This is my favorite drugstore concealer. I'm putting that under my eyes, on my forehead, on my chin, and down the bridge of my nose, and this is to highlight the areas that you want to highlight and contour so that there's contrast in your face. And the brush I'm using is similar to a Sigma F86 brush. I got this at iMatte, so I'm not sure of the name, but it does the same job. So I'm going to be blending that in. I like to pat it in instead of smear it. This way I know that it goes on nice and evenly and it's not me just moving the product around but pressing it in. And to set it, I'm going in with the Anastasia contour powder in the shade Banana. And to set the rest of my foundation, I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte powder with an e.l.f. powder brush. For eyebrows, I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. I will do a brow routine tutorial for you very soon. I know I say that every single video, but it's definitely on my list. And basically what I do is I outline the top and bottom of my brows, fill in very little as much as possible. I try to make the tail of my eyebrow darker than the inner corner. This way it looks very natural. And then to blend it out, I use the other end of the spoolie. And for the inner corner, I go in with the Anastasia Duo powder in dark brown. I use the lighter shade for the inner corner of my eyebrows and the darker shade to fill in any sparse areas towards the middle and the end of my brows. And then I comb through. Make sure that my brows stay all day and night. I'm using the Maybelline Tinted Brow Gel in Brow Drama, I think it's called, and it's dark brown. And then to highlight under my brow, I'm using the cream shade from the Lorac Pro palette. To warm up my skin, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal True Match Powder number W7, and I'm using a Sigma F20 large powder brush. I'm going to be putting that on the points of my face that I'm going to be contouring. This is just to bronze up my skin, this way I don't look as pale, since I do not fake tan or self-tan or any kind of tan during the winter, and I'm just straight pale. I like to use this powder just to bronze it, add some color. And then to contour my face, I'm using the NARS Ita brush with the Benefit Hoola bronzer, and I'm using that to carve out my cheekbones. I'm also going to be placing this on my forehead and under my chin. For blush, I'm going to be going in with the MAC Cantaloupe. This is a pro product, therefore you can only get it at a pro store. And I'm going to be putting that on top of my contour and the apples of my cheeks. And then to blend everything out, I'm going to be using a Sonia Kashuk large stippling brush. This way there are no harsh lines. For highlight, I'm using the Balm Mary Luminizer. I'm going to be putting that on the high points of my cheekbones. I'm also going to be putting it on top of my eyebrows and a little bit down the bridge of my nose. For my lower waterline, I'm going to be using a nude eyeliner from Rimmel. The reason why I'm putting this is to brighten up the area. If you use a black or brown, it may make it look too dark and smoky. On the lower lash, I'm going to be using a flat definer brush. I'm going to be putting that Kiko eyeshadow in the number 210, the burnt reddish brown, the matte color. And I'm just going to be putting that on my lower lash line. And for the inner corner, I'm going to be putting that champagne color, the Kiko number 257. And then to blend out the lower lash line, I'm going to be using a Sigma E30 brush and the taupe color from the Lorac palette. For lower lashes, I'm going to be going in with the Clinque bottom lash. This is great at separating your lower lashes, and it makes sure it gets every little baby one. And for lips, we're going in with the Jordana lip liner in Tawny to outline our lips and fill them in. For lipstick, I'm going to be using the Rimmel, I really don't know the name, I will put everything below, but just know that it is a very, very good lipstick. It is extremely long wearing. I put this on in the morning when I leave for work at like 7 a.m. and I swear it's still there before I'm showering it off. The only thing is by the end of the day it may not feel as great, but it will stay there forever. Oh, it's the Provocalips, there you go. And this is in the color Make Your Move. It is in the tube it looks like a darker nude, but it's pretty pink, mauve, peach. I mean, I really don't even know how to describe this, but it's a great color. I think it pairs nicely with this eye look. But as I said, so you're going to put that color down first. I would wait for it to dry. And then the other end of the lipstick, you're going to be putting the clear part, and this is to lock in the color and make it nice and shiny. The shiny does go away, so it is pretty matte during the rest of the day. And that's the finished makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel, please. Bye!